My argument is consistency, is being intellectually honest about what you say. I think I have shown certain people on YouTube to be intellectually dishonest and actually in total and complete ignorance doing stupid things like making videos about topics which they know nothing about and speaking as if they're some type of authority when they clearly didn't even Wikipedia the topic. I mean, I've seen people who Wikipedia the topic where they're reading stuff straight from Wikipedia, and I can shut them down because I actually go back to primary sources. But people who don't even use Wikipedia or even secondary sources, um, when people claim Jesus is not a historical character, do they apply the same rigorous rigorous standards to William the Conqueror or Charlemagne or the Prophet Muhammad? We hear people challenging the existence of Jesus and then going right along and speaking as if Muhammad is an actual historical character. Got news for these people. There's more historical evidence for Jesus than there is for Muhammad. And I'm sure there are people who could cite a book that says, well, this author says that it's the other way around. No, let's go back and actually look at the evidence that we have. In my other video, I state that for 60 years, there's not a scrap of evidence with three different empires to attest to Muhammad's existing. But whenever we cite people like Josephus or the Gospels were written independently of each other. I think that's clear. Some people say that that Luke and Matthew were based off of Mark. I accept that, but they're not. It's not as if all these four guys are in a room writing next to each other, uh, or that this was written 30 years later. It can't be accurate. Most historical documents were written. Most things that we have in history were written hundreds of years afterwards, and we still take them as historical documents. Um, it, if someone today wrote about 1980, that would be up. Can't it's not. I mean, it's as what's her name? Kelly O'Connor says, non-contemporaneous. Ridiculous. Or this idea that it was written by Christians, so it's not valid, it's not a historical document. So anything written by Romans or any Roman citizen is not a valid document because clearly it's just Roman propaganda, and we can't imagine that these people existed. There have been many people who say, oh, Jesus is just as historical as Zeus. I, I can't even imagine that these people are saying this seriously. They're just trying to get a rise. They're trying to troll. Is it my job? People say, well, what is the evidence? Is it my job to prove that? That's my job to prove this to you. I've just shut you down on many of your other points and shown them all to be either lies or the person speaking clearly out of their ass that knows nothing. The point that the Trinity, that Nicaea had anything to do with the Trinity, even the Gnostic, who I'm actually always arguing with and who hates the Orthodox Church and who hates Roman Catholicism, who says, yeah, there's plenty of primary sources from Nicaea. None of them talk about the Trinity. Nicaea had nothing to do with the Trinity. I mean, this is ridiculous. The fact that these people who are not historians are speaking this way. So it's my job to school you on history. The schools and universities have failed you, and now you're turning towards me. Should I do that with Charlemagne, William the Conqueror, and Muhammad? Anybody who's ever been in the past? Oh, how do we know they exist? Well, I guess like Anatoly Fomenko, we could take his route. Oh, we don't even know if George Washington or Abraham. You know what? Anybody before 1973, I don't know if that person existed because that's years before I was born. So I was going to say 1973. Can't know. Khrushchev and hey, they could have just forged all that stuff, all that footage and everything, and the moon landing wasn't. We don't know if that. I mean, come on. Is it really? If we're going to have a serious topic, if people are educated, I have to assume that you're wildly uneducated, and you've displayed this with question to all Christians: why does blood sacrifice make anything better? And then he comes and asks me, well, what do you believe about the cross then? You're the one making videos with these topics and these challenges. Is it really my job to do? You can't even do any research on yourself. The oldest form of Christianity that's continual, 500 million. Russia, Ethiopia, the Christians of the Middle East, Bulgaria, I mean, Serbia, Greece, all these places just dismissed out of hand because this person didn't take the time to even look it up on the internet of all places. Just spoke it right out of their ass. And now this falls on me? Well, what I mean, I've already proved everything I've seen of this person just to be a flat out lie or just spoken in outrageous stupidity. And now it falls on me to prove a historical Jesus to this person. Do I have to tell you about history and historic method? Really? Show me, do this for me to respect you. Show me why William the Conqueror, Charlemagne, and Muhammad are more historical than Jesus. There's much more of a case for them than there is for Jesus. Or why, if we can't accept any documents written by the community, why can't we accept those when we accept them in every single other case? Peace to you. And I hope this video makes people think. This is Yusuf from John the Hut Dweller.